Oh, okay, what?
Take it.
You sure?
Yeah, no, go ahead. Yeah,
Okay,
go
just
ahead.
real quick.
Nah,
Hey.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. Alright, we're going to be talking to you guys about Insecure. We're going to do our third and final review. I hope you've been following on episode 4. We're going to be talking to you guys about Issa and Lawrence. I'm going to keep it nice and short. I'm not going to do it long. But hey, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Click on that bell button for notifications of the whoop whoop uploads. And for those of you returnees, you ain't got the minerals. You ain't got the minerals. Alright, cool. So, we're now talking to you guys about the Issa and Lawrence situation where we are seeing an ex suddenly being too damn close. And remember this what I wanted to kind of focus on was this final scene where we see Issa and Lawrence are standing outside talking, right? And they bond on this great moment where they both think the baby is a certain type of way, right? They both think the baby is looking like somebody else, right? And they start laughing and catching jokes. And it's very similar. It's a mirror image of what we saw in the last episode with Condola, where she came into a restaurant and saw them catching jokes about films and spoiling films for each other, right? So what they're showing us through these kind of cutscenes is letting us know that, hey, these guys have still got a great connection, right? These guys don't just talk about life, but they have great connection. They bond over something. What are they bonding over? They're bonding over films now, but they'll bond over this baby now. They think exactly the same, right? There's a similarity in the way that they think. Right? And the Bible says two become one. When two become one, your thinking pattern, your talk patterns, your speech. I don't know if you ever noticed when you're in a relationship with somebody and you spend much time with them, their words become your words. Their little niche words that they say become part of them, right? Their little niche actions they start doing, you start copying. And it's because what we're doing is we're socialistic animals that begin to mirror one another because it helps us to get along. It helps us to keep tight bonds. It helps us to flourish, right? In the social settings. And the same thing with Issa and Lawrence. I mean, they've been together for 5 years. It's not going to just go away. And Lawrence kind of left the door open. And I'll tell you when he started leaving the door open. We saw earlier episodes where he called Issa to have a meeting without Condola knowing, right? So when Lawrence and Issa were talking in the previous episodes, he told her, listen, there's no need to tell Condola about this. But there actually was, because when you meet your ex, you've got to discuss it with your current partner. Because if this gets found out, you look shady. And so now, fast forward, obviously, to the fact where he texts Issa a little, I don't know, was it like emoji or whatever, and there was no need to, because that was your ex, right? You're dealing with Condola. And then fast forward to now, this episode where they're both standing outside talking about the baby, and it looks like, Lawrence is about to say something, and Issa's missing all the signs. Now, this can happen because sometimes what happens is we're presumptive, right? So Issa's in a presumptive mode where she's not considering Lawrence is going to ever think about her because as far as she's concerned, Lawrence is happy with Condola. Condola's getting the best of Lawrence now, and Lawrence is happy because he's already kind of like, he's not left any doors for her per se, yeah? He hasn't left no doors open for her per se. And so what you see now is that she misses the clues, right? Because he's like, I want to tell you something. And for us, we're seeing it, and we're thinking, brother, I mean, sis, are you not seeing the signs? Are you not seeing the signs? It's a double yellow line. I'm sorry, sir, but can you move your cat? Like, when you see a sign, what do? You obey the sign. So how she missed it is because she's in a presumptive mode. And sometimes we miss things because we're in presumptive mode. Because we're not in the moment. What we are is in a judgmental moment. Meaning that we've already judged the situation and judged the person. Nothing new can...
it's something I just wanted to talk to you about.
Oh, okay, what?
Comfort this, right? And when we have a thought process that nothing new can comfort us, nothing new, then we act as if nothing new can comfort us. Unless it's blatantly obvious and hits you smack in the face. And even then sometimes we still ignore it because we're in a presumptive mood, we're in a judgmental mood. We judge things beforehand, and that's the way it has to run. And so she misses the opportunity to see that Lawrence is begging to talk to her about something that it looks like, him and Condola are not great, and da-da-da-da. But she misses it. And she misses the timing. And so I think that was such a beautiful thing to kind of watch. And I think, knowing them two, I think potentially they might get back together, or they might do something rather than get back together. Should they be together? Well, when cheating happens, I always say this, when cheating happens, unless the person is truly remorseful, understands what they've done, the gravity of what they've done, and is willing to put the emotional care and work back into this to build up official trust. Because no matter what you think, yeah, after you've been cheated on, there's PTSD. It's solid, yeah. And with that getting back with that person requires an emotional capacity to really listen and to hear. And not only that, but to really get into a place where you really to get yourself into a place where you stand strong and actually deal with the things that actually happen as to why it happened, and deal with the oncoming emotions that you're going to start feeling during the course of a relationship as you first start, because you don't forget, you understand, the flashbacks, the reminders, the little triggers all happen, you know what I mean? So that's all a part of the play as well.
Some teenage boy's gonna try and finger fuck my angel one day. Look at my baby.
Don't make me.
It's gonna happen, man.
So then we see obviously Lawrence as well talking to, I believe it's Jeff, isn't it? Tiffany's husband. And as they're talking, I think it's one of the things that's really interesting is that, Jeff talks about how that, this wasn't planned, and it's very interesting because what men do, I've seen that when it's convenient for them, yeah, they move as if they don't know what anything's wrong. And when it's not convenient for them, like having a baby girl, suddenly Jeff has balls and sense. Wait, hold on a minute, some little goon is going to come and do what I was doing. So you're aware of your behaviour then. Why didn't you change it? Because it doesn't suit you to. Because men when people are in a place of privilege, they don't change it. They don't want to change it because they've been privileged. So men oftentimes do not want to destroy the patriarchy or destroy their bad behaviour because they're being privileged from it. They're earning from it. They're getting something out of it. Do you understand? And so that's the key thing. So obviously, when it comes to these situations, scenarios, you just got to be open and honest with it and say, hey, look, do you know what? I'm prejudiced in the sense of the fact I know that when I behave in a certain way, I know what I'm doing is wrong. And that lets you know if men can change their mind as soon as they have a daughter, it's not a change perspective. No. It's a change parallel in the sense of that you now know you're now the person who you were doing dirt. You're now reverse position and role. You're now the person who has a daughter who's invulnerable. And suddenly it's dawned on you, right? And then you see Lawrence as well kind of just go, whoa. He starts thinking about it going, whoa, actually, am I ready for a family? Because I think that's his thought process was because we've spoken to Condola saying about, you spoke about you don't want to get married, etc., etc. Now he's talking to Jeff, he's like, whoa, actually, to be honest, brother, do I actually want to get married? I mean, no, not married. Do I want to have a family? Do I really want to have a family? Because that's where his mindset was going to, and now he sees his face and suddenly he's reconsidering. Sometimes we have to ask the question, why we want a family? Why do we want to breed up? Why do we want to have a woman and have our child? Why? Why at that time in that season? Is it because you actually want to have a family? Or is it because there is a want and a need to fulfill the desire of your heart, which it feels like there's a hole in it? Or it feels like, you know what, this is the next step I have to take. If it's that kind of thinking where this is a step I have to take, then maybe this ain't the right place to be going, because it's not about, this is the right step to take. It's whether you really want and desire this. If you don't desire it, move away. Don't go and open up doors that you don't need to be opening up that you're not ready for. You understand? Yeah. And so that was very, very interesting as well. I just think to myself, with the overall Issa and the Lawrence situation, I just think to myself that, we want to see, I want to see obviously great couples. I want to see couples flourish and everything. But I want to conclude and say, listen guys, if you've gone through cheating before, you know the PTSD that comes with it. And it requires some extensive work on both parties. Because the party has been doing the cheating has to acknowledge that and has to have some very difficult questions. The person who's been cheated on has to acknowledge that, hey, you know what? I have to understand that this person also is going through trauma at the same time too. Because, you know what? The person who's cheated also feels a certain type of way. That's why they're back with you. They feel stupid. They feel dumb. They feel like they've hurt you and they don't know how to recover it. Like, their minds are all over the place. And that's not to give them an excuse. It's to let you know that, listen, cheating affects both people. The one doing it and the one being done on. So, anyway, guys, remember, if you want to watch such reviews like this, you need to click on backworldtube.com. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to this channel. And also, as well, think before you do. Don't do before you think. I should be thinking about what you got to do. I appreciate you guys. Stay locked, stay loaded. More love, man.